There are many that spend a great deal of attention analyzing, examining predictions from apocalyptical texts, ancient cultures, um, seers, prophets, individuals that are describing end times and such. It's important when approaching the analysis of apocalyptic materials, much of which are remnants from Israelite empire. Uh, there are many other apocalyptic predictions by individuals like Nostradamus. There are other predictors from earlier cultures like the Mayans, Hopi tribes, etc. It's important in forming analysis and examining these texts to work with the rubric of the following rule for predictions and prophecy. And this central rule, fundamental rule that most individuals examining these texts are without, is central to the analysis of these texts without allowing your perception and your approach to create a self-fulfilling prophecy in the culture that you're living in. To believe in these prophecies to the point of which you set forth polarities, separators, roles that individuals and cultures must stick to and actualize to meet a point of conflict or disaster. This central tenet, this central rule for prophecy and prediction is so very important that I cannot underline it enough for individuals to reevaluate how they consume this material, for they should approach it within the rubric of this central rule. The rule is as follows. Any prophecy or prediction that is from a sacred source, that is from the perspective of eternity, any prediction that is for catastrophe and conflict need never occur. Any prediction that is for benevolence and abundance will certainly occur. Understand this clearly. Any apocalyptical prediction that is predicated on conflict, destruction, and suffering need not occur, while any prediction that's delivered through the eye of source for abundance, benevolence, and renewal is certain to occur. This tenet is so fundamentally essential for understanding the coordinates of apocalyptical texts without allowing these texts to govern one's actions to the point of a self-fulfilling prophecy, of disallowing a more intimate path, of suppressing a harmonic healing. Classical example within the Judeo-Christian traditions is the prophet Jonah. The prophet Jonah approaches the city of Nineveh. He is sent to approach in the archetype the city of Nineveh, which is a large city, and he is instructed to tell the city that the city will be overturned within 30 days. The people of Nineveh are moved to change their path based on the leadership of their king. And 30 days later, in this archetype, there is no destruction. No city is overturned. And this is part of the prophets of the Judeo-Christian tradition. They are affirming an example of where there is a prediction for destruction, and that prediction for destruction is bypassed. Understand clearly. Certainly, based on the writers of these chronicles, were the people of Nineveh to not change their path and become more sincere and less primitive, then yes, they believed that there would be terrible destruction that would befall that city. Such was the word of God. But the premise was that there is no prophecy for a negative occurrence, for devastation that need ever come to pass. For every conflict or point of learning from struggle and without can always be bypassed by learning the very same lesson, by galvanizing the very same solution through harmony, through intimacy. The goal is not justice. The goal is arrival. The goal is a point of actualized evolution in action to a more civilized, humane, more benevolent and connected approach with a higher love. It matters not how you arrive there. Struggle, strain, challenge, learning from without, evolution is all a slow process of allowing creation and society to arrive and as a less primitive, more advanced space. Societies are always encouraged by on high to take a quantum leap of listening to the music of a more harmonized future and readjusting your lives, your inner lives, and slowly realign your outer world to the music of a more benevolent path. There is no prophecy that need happen if it is premised on conflict and destruction. Individuals that digest this material should be mindful of the material of the apocalyptic texts as indicators for a possible scenario should human consciousness not change from the point drastically from which the prediction was made. On an interdimensional level, there are many layers and dimensions of existence simultaneously playing out one over the other. It is certain that within a particular dimension, within a particular wavelength of density of consciousness, that if it stagnates at that baser level, conflict will erupt, and that is the prediction. But certainly each, through their inner music, their inner embrace of a higher love, can raise their consciousness to a higher density of being. And suddenly the world that they inhabit does not react in the hostile, primitive ways that they have learned in the past, but they have redeemed these actions for a more benevolent, more bountiful future, so that they too may join and eat and share in the fruit of the tree of life.